problem. You're now live.
Great. Welcome everybody to our meeting, evening whole board meeting. Begin with the land acknowledgement. We are meeting here today on the traditional territory of the Teonantate, Wendat, Haudenosaunee, and Anishinaabe, which is now the home of diverse First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people. We acknowledge the Inuit people who cared for Turtle Island from before the arrival of settler peoples to this day. We also acknowledge that Clearview Township is situated on land covered by Treaty 18 with the Anishinaabe. We are committed to moving forward in the spirit of truth, reconciliation, and respect. And move now to the agenda. First is an approval of the agenda. I have a couple of items that I got sent. I just want to make sure that they got put in. Yeah, that's good. Excuse me.
You want to add in there your donation?
Okay, and yep, I think that all got put in there. Great. Okay, is there anything else anybody would like to see the agenda amended for? Okay, no additions. I'll look for a mover and a seconder. Melanie and Tina, perfect. And all those in favor? Great, we'll consider that carried. Disclosure of disqualifying interest and general nature thereof. Is anybody who needs to disclose a conflict of interest tonight? Seeing none, we'll move on to the minutes. They were sent out. The link is in the agenda. Mine is loading, which is taking a moment. Does anybody have any issues with the minutes that were sent around? Give that a second. All right, hearing no opposition to the minutes or no amendments to the minutes, we'll get a mover and a seconder for our minutes from January, or from February, pardon me. Melanie. And Ed, great. And any opposition to the minutes? Perfect, we'll consider those carried. Moving on to business arising, AODA renovations update. So the AODA was presented to council on the 7th of March, I believe, John, and it passed. The council has voted to send the AODA requirements or the renovations to tender. So at this point, we don't have, there's the plan from council is to have a special meeting, I believe, with hall board chairs. I haven't been notified of a date of that yet. Is there any other information you want to give us on that at this point, Councillor Lamers?
Not much. Everybody's read the report of Terry's offered us 8 different options to choose from. So we're going to go to another meeting to discuss final discussions. And I had a talk with Terry this afternoon about hall rentals. And he says we should be good to rent our halls up until September, October. There won't be any renovations starting before then. So if we have any rentals coming up, we should be safe to book up until September or October.
Okay, that's good to know. I do have, I got a bit of a report from Claire, so yeah, we'll talk about that. Is there any questions about the report that was sent to council and the options that were included that's pertinent for us? The council has agreed that, you know, they will they're going to go ahead. There will be some fundraising between 10 and 20% of construction costs. Number wasn't set in stone at this point. I think it's they're good. We're going to have a new rental agreement with each hall individually. So we have that probably coming in the next couple of months, I would imagine. Yeah, I think we're all again just kind of waiting to see what's going to come of it. So, Ed, please.
One quick, this is to you, Councillor Lamers. Bill and I were at the meeting with you and Terry, and the way I understood it, the Avening Hall can put in ramps and not need an elevator. But the township is more pro elevator. So if the township wants to spend $200,000 or $300,000 more than what we do, we shouldn't have to come up with a 10 or 15% or 20% of that $300,000. Just
Yeah, the problem with going for the ramp is the roof line on the north side of that building is going to be landing on that whole ramp on that north side. So it's going to be hard to keep that ramp clear.
so you're going to put 2 elevators in then?
No,
You
just
have
the
to have
one.
2 entrances and exits for upstairs. That's why the second ramp had to be installed.
Yeah, but if we put that ramp at the back on the north side, then we didn't need the elevator.
I thought they had to be at one end, at each end of the building, because you have to be so far apart or something. Anyway, it's just something that we should you should inquire, because if we can come up with a solution how to Avening Hall can save $200,000 or $300,000 and the township wants to spend it, well, then I don't think we should have to bring up money for that.
The report that Burnside's there's a couple things, Ed. I read the report that Burnside's presented. Their estimate of the barrier-free ramp is $46,618. The cost of the elevator, sorry, I'm just looking it up here on the report.
You should look.
Oh, so the cost of the elevator is $93,997. So it's about half the price to put the ramp in, is what they're quoting, based on probably getting the ramp away from the building and that sort of thing. So it's not as and that might be for the 2 ramps actually as well. Council did also, as part of the report, agree to pay for annual inspections and what else? Sorry, John. What else was it? There was 2 things, 2 kind of annual fees that I think it was the inspection and
An annual.
It's in the paper.
And yeah, the annual licensing fee of $250, a flat rate, maintenance design, designated person is $200, frequency twice a year. So they have to come and inspect and maintenance.
So there were some concessions made to the ongoing costs for the halls. I'm not trying to say, it was, it's definitely, it's more expensive, but there were some concessions made by council to support them. Yeah, there certainly is a feeling from the engineers and staff that we needed to have the option in the tender at the very least.
So, but if you put a ramp in, you don't have to change the north side of the stage. If you put an elevator in, you have to alter the walkway from the.
I think we still would because you need the barrier-free washroom is up by the kitchen. The plan for the barrier-free washroom to be up by the kitchen.
Okay.
So you still do need to have the ramp there.
But you can put a ramp outside. I'm just thinking, for example,
Yeah.
Noble Insurance in Collingwood had to install a barrier-free washroom. And that was Russell Post thinks 25 years ago. And to this day, he doesn't think it's ever been used by someone that needs it. So I'm still on the point of, we're spending a pile of money here for, I know there's a few people out there that need it, but it's quite few.
Well,
But it has
I
to
mean,
be
spend
there for
millions.
that one.
For one person.
yeah, we are. It
We're
is the
thinking,
law.
I know it's not right. I'm not thinking right, but it's go to a location, rent a location that's barrier free.
Well, the point is the law is, is that there needs to be, we need to have the hall be accessible. And I mean, you can think, you don't have to think about that many people in our community who have a rollator or who have even just getting up and down out of a chair is an issue. And so, if you've got the extra supports around the toilet or that sort of thing,
Yes.
we don't have that now.
No.
So anyhow, the money is definitely, it's not cheap. I don't think, nothing in this report is real. It's a cost savings measure. But at the same time, this is twice the price of what we were quoted in 2016 when we went through this 5 years ago, a little more than 5 years ago. So, and it's coming in 2025, right? So anyhow. All right, any other points on the AODA renovations? Okay, COVID update. So at this point, the capacity limits for indoor settings and proof of vaccination has been lifted completely. We still do have a mask mandate. Is there any word, Councillor Lamers, on if mask mandates will be imposed in the township after Monday, beyond the 21st? Because that is the date that the provincial government has. I don't know if they've specifically said halls, but they definitely have said bars, restaurants, other places of worship, things like that. They can be lifted, or they can be removed then.
I think that's going to be either discussed at Monday night's meeting or the next council meeting. I haven't heard confirmation on any dates yet.
I know that our Chief Medical Officer of Health, Dr. Gardner, is recommending mandates be kept in place. It's not. It won't be. I don't think it's going to be an order from him, from the Simcoe County Health Unit, but it's definitely a recommendation. So anyhow, okay. So I'm trying to think, just looking through the report here from Amanda. And this was also an email that I sent, forwarded to everybody. And it's in the minutes. So any other questions on that? Okay, parking lot update. Councillor Lamers, I think you were going to ask about that.
Yeah, I got a hold of Dan, and they're going to have the crews look at it in the spring. Okay. And that's also going to be in conflict with the renovations. If they're going to be doing renovations to the parking lot and putting new septic in, there's going to be a lot of heavy trucks in there that's going to destroy the majority of that parking lot.
Well, I mean, for any of us who've checked our mail this week, it's not a great, it's not in great shape now. So, and as the frost comes out of the ground this week, it's not going to get a heck of a lot better. But there are some pretty large potholes on the south, the gravel part. I know on the drawing, the AODA, part of it was to have some new spaces created right beside the hall that would be paved, but I don't know if the tender was to pave the entire parking lot.
Yeah.
I don't think it was.
Dan's gonna have the roads crew look at it and see if they can grade and fill that hole in.
Yeah.
In the middle of the parking lot there on the south
Yeah.
end.
Yeah. Okay. All right. It's been there for a couple of years. It's been pretty bad, that one. Yeah.
Keeps getting
Okay.
worse every year.
Well, it wasn't going to fill itself in. All right. Thanks for that. I appreciate that. Okay, rental report. We have rentals on April 2nd, 16th, June 4th, July 15th, 16th, and 27th. And then we also have rentals for around Christmas time, December 26th and 31st. So I guess I'll have to touch base with Terry and see maybe next week or so, or maybe I'll send him an email in the morning and just see if see what he thinks if those December ones are realistic. I'm guessing July 15th, 16th is the barbecue, where the dates for the barbecue. But just looking at my calendar, would be the second Saturday in July. Oh no, that would be the 9th. So that 15th, 16th must be a wedding. So the beef barbecue would be on July 9th. If we go ahead with that, we probably need to decide in pretty short order what we want to do there, what people feel about that. If we want to leave it for another year and let things calm down, or if we want to forge ahead. And that's all we have for rental updates right now. I did reach out to Bonnie McPherson about the possibility of joining the hall board and maybe, like, they live right across the road, maybe doing some helping us out with rentals if she's interested. So she said she might be interested. I think we need to talk about what, we had some discussions at the last meeting, what that would look like. And so we were at that point, my minutes are still not loading. Okay. At that point, we had talked about, reviewing kind of the position and kind of coming up with an idea of the as to what things that Claire did, and maybe putting it down some thoughts on paper. I know Lori had given us a pretty good breakdown at the last meeting, and I can't open the minutes for some reason to read that right now. We did have a pretty lengthy discussion on it.
The township's not going to be ever thinking of looking after the halls for rentals?
Not at this point.
No.
With a staff person, you mean, Ed?
Yes, just somebody.
Yeah, not right now.
It's not hardly a community hall anymore. It's really busy.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
Thank you. Aha. Oh, and Bonnie also did look into the virtual tour for us, and she gave me. Let me pull up her email. She gave me an idea what they use for their real estate, and about $300 per tour. They do host the tour for the real estate agents on their website. I said I don't think that's probably going to fly with the township, but yeah, I don't know if we wanted to, something we wanted to look at or pass along. I can certainly pass that along to Amanda, the idea of doing some having a virtual tour on the website, because then it wouldn't have to have that booking agent go in every, just meet at random times and that sort of thing. People could go and look online, and probably would be something we'd want to do. We want to probably go through a really good list of what our amenities are and how many servings and that sort of thing the kitchen can accommodate. And again, probably be something we wanted to look at after the renovation potentially. I think, well, the township decided they're going to do 2 halls per year. Avening was discussed as being one of the halls that's more ready to do the renovations. So could be something that we look at doing after the renovation too. So whenever that happens and however it looks. Okay, so maybe what we should do is come up with a what we want to include in the booking agent for the to take over for Claire to book all the dates and things like that. Sorry, Kayla, can you put those minutes back up, and specifically Lori's report that she gave? Would you mind? I just don't have it handy. Thanks.
Sorry, let me find it, Bill. I'll pull it up.
Thanks.
Sarah's being very quiet.
Oh, great.
Go big.
Perfect. That looks really good. I think something that might help the process too would be if the paperwork could be filed electronically, and we didn't have to collect. If they just sent a copy of the rental agreement, a signed copy of the rental agreement to the township, so that there was a copy on file at the township. And also some kind of an automated or like a paywall that could be done online too, would be handy.
Are you talking like receiving the rental payment bill?
Yeah, like the fee, like if we,
There are hall boards that are using an electronic funds transfer system with Kelly
Okay.
McDonald, so that can absolutely be set up. I know Duntroon uses that, just off the top of my head. And it's
Great.
basically done like an e-transfer. They would say, in the messages, Duntroon Hall, this date, this is the rental name, and then the password would usually be the renter's name. But you can work that out with Kelly as well. So if Karen wanted to reach out, that is
Okay.
a possibility.
Okay. Just be one less thing that would be a couple things to kind of streamline the process a little bit too. It looks really, is that in the minute, that's in the minutes from last meeting? Or was that, I know we saw that.
I believe it's attached to the agenda, Bill.
Okay, it's attached to the agenda. Okay.
Yeah, all of the attachments are in the agendas now.
So I'll send that to Bonnie and see what she thinks about that, kind of list of tasks. I know she's new to the community, well, a couple of years, but she, yeah, we would definitely take that other part out. I would, yeah. But Bonnie just kind of wanted a list of what does the rentals, the renting of the hall really involve, the ins and outs of it. I think that gives a pretty thorough list. Thank you for that, Lori. And I can see, maybe we could, if we set a date for the AGM, oh, we've got a date for the AGM as I look at the minutes. We can maybe have her come on board at the AGM then, potentially. So I'll communicate with her on that. Is there any other upcoming, does anyone know of any other upcoming rentals or any other, Sarah, I don't know if you had any thoughts for spring inspirations for shows or anything?
As of the situation, I hadn't looked into anything at all. So I don't have anything up my sleeve, that's for sure.
Okay. Yeah, there's certainly a lot of things in the air right now with that, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
No, that's it. Yeah. I agree.
Great. All right. If there's nothing more on rentals, we'll move on. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Ed.
My opinion is to postpone the barbecue because you start getting ready and we don't know what's going to happen in the next 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, we might all be
Thinking of what's happening in the rest of the world, they're starting to get better and now they're starting to get worse again. So I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen.
It's probably wise. We'd end up with about 50 pounds of beef each and a whole bunch of potatoes and cans of beans and anyways.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, that's my opinion, but
do we want to, I kind of feel maybe we can add that to new business once we get down there to have a motion, but that we'll postpone the barbecue if that's okay. I think it's reasonable and pretty prudent, right? Cautious.
Yeah, correct.
I don't have a financial report. Karen is on vacation. I don't think there's a lot of change in our financials anyways. The fundraising subcommittee. So Trina has submitted a report on what has been happening at the fundraising committee. We've had verbal reports, but she's sent those in. So there's minutes from and notes from the meetings that we've had. So as you can see there, basically just kind of goes through what some of the ideas have been, and where we kind of stand with everything, and hopefully as we solidify everything in the upcoming months and weeks, that we can nail that down. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to take those or pass those along if I can. And of course, once the fundraising committee does come up with a plan, it'll be presented here for approval by the board. So, all right, plumbing issues. We've had some frozen pipes, and I was away when it initially happened, and I guess it's still kind of happening, eh?
Well, I'm not sure what's happening with the two, sorry, I'm having computer problems, so I'm not even going to try and turn on my camera because I think you'll lose me altogether. With the two taps that look like they're new, but they're leaking into that pail.
Yeah.
I've been there, I think 6 times over the last couple weeks to empty it. And then sometimes I don't get there and it overflows. And I know Claire's been there quite a few times as well. I don't know if anybody else has stopped by to empty it or not. But I know it's been happening for a long time, and I'm not sure if there's a reason why we can't get it fixed or if we haven't asked yet. I'm not sure.
So I think what the main problem with those pipes is that that wall right above them goes straight up to the kitchen, and I don't think it's insulated. And so Claire texted me tonight and said she's having to empty the buckets about once a day. I didn't realize it was that much.
Right after work. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go first thing tomorrow morning and have a look, and I'm going to call T-Nash Plumbing and see what we can do stop it, whether it's the taps or whatnot. But yeah, it's really frustrating, but I don't know if it's, I don't think the pipes are, well, the pipe did burst, I guess, initially. But it seems like the taps are still, maybe it's the washers, I'm not sure, but I'll go in tomorrow and have a look. I'll probably turn the water off and take them apart and have a look.
Okay. I emptied the bucket tonight about 5:30, so
Okay.
it should be fine by the morning, but
I'll have a look. Yeah. Thanks, Lori. Spring fly removal. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Ed.
Do we need a motion to get Tina Ash to fix the 2 taps in the furnace room? Just
I
fix it.
mean, if you want to move it, sounds good. I was gonna just go
Do it
under
anyway?
general
Okay.
maintenance and kind of an emergency situation, but if you want to move it, that would be great.
No, get it fixed.
Okay, Ed's moving a motion to get Tina Ash to fix the
Just get it
pipes.
fixed.
Sarah's seconding it. She beat you, Melanie. Any opposed to that? Great. Didn't think so. All right. Spring fly removal. Do we want to have the hall sprayed for flies this spring, Sarah? You're moving it? Oh, you did call. Okay.
I called them last week and they're going to come about the end of April. He'll just kind of play it by ear whenever he thinks it needs to be done, but he's set to come.
Lori
So
literally moved on that.
Lori has literally moved it. Sarah's in support. Sarah's going to second that one.
The fact that Lori moved it. Yeah.
Thank you, Lori, for doing that as well. Any further discussion on that? Perfect. We will consider that carried unless there's any opposition. Janitorial expenses was the next thing. Our cleaner is requesting a small shop vac to vacuum up the flies. So I can go tomorrow and to Home Hardware and take care of that if we need it. Ed?
We have one I can donate.
Oh,
We have 2, so I don't need 2 small ones. So I'll just take one
perfect.
small.
Even better. Great.
Okay.
Done. You can put that in motion, Ed.
Yes. Delivered.
And then the next thing would be motion to postpone the 2022 Avening Community Center beef barbecue.
I second Ed's idea.
Thank you. Any further discussion on that? Great. And any all in favor of postponing the barbecue for this year?
Sorry,
Good.
was that Tina that seconded that?
Lori.
Well, I'll second.
Sorry. Okay, sorry.
Our next meeting is scheduled. If there's any further discussion before we move on to our next meeting. Great. Next meeting is scheduled as the AGM for April 21st at 7 p.m. How's that look for folks?
Good for me.
Great. Okay, we will. Do we need a motion to because it's the AGM, Kayla, or what do you think?
No, you guys have actually passed a motion at your last.
We did it at the last.
Yep.
Okay.
So you're good
Great.
to go.
We're good to go. Okay, so we need a motion to adjourn. Ed, or did you have a question?
Are we getting together for the AGM? Or can we?
I think we would be able to.
So
Yes, no?
is scheduled to go back into sort of a hybrid or meet in person at the end of April. And after council goes in and starts meeting in person, we're hoping month of May, we can finally see each other again. So hopefully, fingers crossed, the 2 weeks to flatten the curve has finally come to an end after this March break, and we can see each other in May.
So we'll have to do the AGM online then. Okay. There we go. All right. Any other discussion before we adjourn? Okay. Motion to adjourn. Great. Sarah and Melanie.